Hello and welcome to this video. This video I will be showing you how to put together this month's USU Extension STEAM kit, which we will be making an eco column. So to start off, you should have 2 bottles in your kit. Additionally, you should have a pack of soil, a pack of gravel, a rubber band, and you also have a straw. You will need to gather a box cutter, a hammer, and distilled water. Additionally, you also need a compost. So to start off, I'm going to put my rubber band. I'm going to put it about 3/4 on this bottle. I'm going to then take my Sharpie and mark off that cut. This is important because the top part of our bottle is going to become our terrestrial chamber, and then that bottom part is going to become our aquatic chamber at the bottom. So I'm going to go through and cut this with a box cutter knife. And then I'm going to just take off the rubber band and my little plastic around. I'm going to do the same with the other bottle, but this time I want my bigger 3/4 to be the top part. This is going to become our decomposition chamber, and then that bottom part we will discard later. Again, I just took the rubber band, marked it out with a marker, and then I'm just going to go in with my box cutter knife and cut that. And once that's done, we can do a quick stack just to make sure everything fits. So terrestrial chamber on top, decomposition chamber, and then our aquatic chamber on bottom. Now I'm going to go through and mark on both of my lids little dots that I'm going to then use my nail and hammer to puncture. This is going to help the water flow between our chambers and also keep the airflow. It's important that the center dot is a little bit wider because that's where we're going to stick our straw through, which will help with our airflow. Additionally, you can take your box cutter knife and make that middle hole a little bit bigger and just make sure that straw fits through. You only have to do this to one of the lids. The straw does not have to go through the second lid. Now I just went ahead and did the exact same thing to my other lid. Now I'm going to put them on. Again, the terrestrial chamber will have that straw through it, and the bottom one, it will just rest on the bottom of the decomposition chamber. Now I'm going to take my soil and I'm going to fill up my terrestrial chamber. This is where we're going to be planting our seeds and plants will be growing out of. So I'm going to kind of pack that down. I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to take my decomposition chamber. I'm going to put some gravel here at the bottom. This just helps big chunks of dirt to not go through and pass into our aquatic chamber. I'm going to then dump the dirt in, the rest of my dirt, and I just gathered some sticks and leaves from my compost. Additionally, you can add anything like worms or anything like fruit peels or anything like that you want to add to your compost. Here I added a little too much, so I'm going to take some out. And then I'm also just going to use this marker here to make that little hole so we can stick our straw to the bottom so it rests on the bottom of the cap. I'm just going to do a quick fit and it should fit into our aquatic chamber. So now make sure you have distilled water, and then I'm going to pour gravel into the bottom of our aquatic chamber. You should also have been provided with an aquatic plant. If you did not, you can always go and grab one from any pet store. So I'm just going to take off one of these little bunches. There should be some gel on the bottom, so I'm just taking that off, and then you can rinse it. Pouring a little bit of distilled water in, and then I'm taking that plant and I'm submerging it and putting the roots underneath the gravel. Um, and then you can fill it up the rest of the way with distilled water. It's okay if the bottom of the cap is touching the water. But there we have our aquatic decomposition and our terrestrial chambers. Now our last step is to go ahead and plant our seeds on top. These are some spinach seeds. I'm just going to spread them out a bit with my fingers and kind of push them into the soil a bit. Additionally, you can put some more dirt on top. Then I'm just going to give them a quick water. It's important with this eco column to water at least once a week or when the soil on top is dry. We want to keep it nice and moist, but that water will soak in, it'll dribble down into our compost chamber, and then it'll go down to our aquatic chamber. And that is how you put together this eco column.